In a busy city where life moved fast and people's voices often grew louder than their thoughts, there lived a young man named Kamil. He was not the kind of person who drew attention. He didn't speak much in crowds, nor did he try to prove himself in arguments. Many around him thought his silence was weakness. At school, classmates often laughed at him. "You are too quiet. Do you even have anything to say?" They mocked. At home, even his relatives would compare him to others. "Look at your cousin, always bold, always speaking. You must learn to be like him." Kamil listened, but inside he carried a quiet storm. Words formed in his heart, but he did not throw them around easily. He believed silence gave space to think, to understand, and to grow. Still, sometimes doubt whispered to him, "Am I truly weak? Does silence make me less?" One day, life presented him with an unexpected test. His college announced a public speaking contest on the theme, "What is real strength?" The very idea of standing before 100 terrified him. Yet deep down, something pushed him to try. Perhaps it was time to show the world what silence had taught him. For weeks, Kamil prepared, while others rehearsed loudly. He worked quietly in his room. He read about leaders who were calm but powerful, about sages who spoke less but influenced more. He wrote down his thoughts slowly, carefully, like a sculptor shaping stone. When the day arrived, the hall was buzzing with excitement. Confident voices filled the stage. Students spoke wealth, muscles, influence, and power. The crowd cheered loudly. The Kamil's name was called. He woke up. He stepped slow but steady. The microphone felt heavy in his hand for a moment. His fear almost swallowed him. People whispered, "What will his quiet boy say?" He closed his eyes, breathed deeply, and began, not loudly, not quickly, but with calm clarity. People think strength is about how loud you can be or how much power you hold over others. But I have learned something different. Real strength does not always shout. Real strength does not always show off. Sometimes real strength is found in silence. The hall grew still, even the whispers faded. He continued, "Silence teaches patience. It helps us listen before we act. It saves us from words we say, regret. A tree does not make noise as it grows, yet it stands tall for hundreds of years. The ocean is deep and calm, yet it holds unimaginable power. Silence is not emptiness, it is energy under control." Kamil's voice grew steadier with each word. Anyone can raise their voice in anger, but it takes strength to stay calm. Anyone can argue to be right, but it takes wisdom to listen. I believe silence is one of the strongest teachers in life. When he finished, there was no sound for a moment, only thoughtful faces. Then the applause began, soft at first, then louder, until the hall echoed with it. That day, Kamil won the contest, but more importantly, he won something greater. Respect. People who once mocked his silence now saw it differently. They realized it was not weakness, but a form of strength most had overlooked. Years later, Kamil carried his lesson into his life. In work, he listened more than he spoke, which made him a wise leader. In relationships, his silence prevented conflict from growing, and his patience healed wounds. Whenever life tested him with hardships, he did not panic or complain, he endured quietly, letting silence give him clarity. And slowly, those who had once judged him began to seek his advice. They understood what he had discovered long ago. True strength is not always in the noise of the world, but in the silence of the heart. What is the moral of this story? The story reminds us that silence is not weakness, it is self control, patience, and inner power.